Hey everyone, welcome to this week's video, and if you have not yet subscribed, definitely do subscribe. And today I'm sharing something that another fellow online marketer, or if you like, I think she's also going to go into coaching soon as well. She asked if I could just share a couple of tips that helped, well, at least that I used, that would help her with her relationship with her spouse. And I did share these with her on Messenger, and I wanted to on Facebook, so I wanted to share this on here as well. So before we want anything or any change in our current relationships, we've got to first acknowledge where it is, okay, and what we really want. And although this sounds really simple, but we end up limiting ourselves when we don't ask the question, right? So typically we might say, oh, okay, he's not going to change, or she's not going to change, she's going to be the same, nothing's going to work out. But when we go in to something with that mindset, then it's not going to change, right? You've literally just decided it's not going to work, so it won't work. So, and I shared this in my on my social media post, how myself and my husband were going through a time in our relationship where we would have ended it if we carried on the way we did. And it wasn't anything major that happened between us. We literally just did not give each other the time or the quality time or attention needed, right? So I want to share a couple of things that we started to do, right? At least I did, because he is pretty much like, he literally does some meditation. I think he does maybe about 30 minutes to 1 hour a day, and he's good to go. Whereas me, I need to do a lot more to get to his level of calm and peace, if you like. So he's always been like that. He's never had to do a lot, right? And he gets whatever he wants. He's pretty much an abundant person. So when I started my self-development journey, I had to do this because I consciously had to see and talk to myself that this is what's going to happen and this is what I want. So I literally wrote down exactly what I want him to be like, how I want him to be like, right? In detail, and this is something that I say to a lot of my coaching members that are married, to do this, okay? Because your spouse, if you're women, obviously I work with women, so I'm going to say what I do. And how I coach is, when we are in business or we're doing something extraordinary, we're in leadership, we want our spouse's support, right? We want them to be there. And obviously if your spouse is already supportive, that's brilliant. You want them to be even more supportive, right? This is what it is for. This is for somebody who is in a relationship and they just want to, you know, take their partner, their relationship to the next level. Right, so this is what you would do, is write down exactly how you want them to be, to behave, to speak, everything to the detail. And this is going to sound crazy, as if you are literally creating them. Okay, so you're writing down the detail to the T, okay, and then what you're going to do, right, and you might go on for pages and pages, right? There's no limit here. The more detail, the better. The more you can understand it, and the more the law of attraction will activate that to happen. But the second step, and the most important step, is who do you need to be, and what behaviors do you need to have to manage that type of person, or at least be in that type of relationship with that person. So do you need to change your behaviors a little bit to match up to the level he's going to be at? Obviously I'm talking to somebody who's a female here, hence I'm saying he. So what is it that you need to do to manage that type of a person, that type of a man, right? So match it up, right? This is it. That's when it will happen. So I review mine pretty often, and there's times when I dip, right? When there's a new thing going on, you know, I've launched one-on-one emotional breakthrough sessions, and I found when I did that, I did not spend enough time with them this week. So this is a reflection, and this is you're always improving. When you start reflecting, there's room for improvement then, right? So bring that into your habit, and things are always up and down. They're never going to be like, oh, okay, Naz has told me this and everything's hunky and glory, but you've got to carry on reflecting and seeing where you are and carry on improving from there, right? So but this is a start for you to visualize how you want it, what your spouse to be, and then become the person to match your spouse. Okay, that's how I started. And then we started to do gratitude. I used to write it down and he would just say it to me, but he does that on default, right? Pretty much. But it was me at the time when we did have that time when our relationship was pretty edgy. It was my response to a grievance that I had, which was in 2013. Yeah, my mum passed away, and then my emotions were all over the place, and you know, you just become really, I became pretty bitter. So it was me that had a lot of work that needed to be done. So I did it. I was using my gratitude journal. I would focus on the best in him, and I would see more good was coming out. And that was because I just changed my perception. I focused on the best, and I ended up attracting the best, right? And that's what I've been doing up until now. It's been, oh gosh, coming up 5 years now, right? So highly recommend you do this if you haven't done it before. If you have done it before, do it again. If your relationship's worth worth it, then do it. I mean, not all relationships are worth, or shall I say, some need to be ended. Okay, it's a very sensitive subject, which hence I'm like slaughtering my words. But some relationships do need to be ended, but all relationships need to be tried before they are ended. Okay, so do this. Be very specific with how you want your spouse to be, and be open-minded about it when you're writing this down. And then, who do you need to become? What type of person do you need to become? What behaviours do you need to have? How do you need to show up for that type of person, right? And be conscious of it every single day. Be conscious of this, okay? And it will happen, okay? So you guys, I hope this was useful. Like the video or share it if you find it useful, and subscribe to the channel as well. I'll catch you later. Bye.